Okay, I don't think I was broadcasting for the last bit, and if I was, I wasn't getting the chat, so I had to restart my machine, and hopefully everything's going to work now. And I'm sewing up the darts on Ralphie right now. So if you tuned in about a week ago or 2 weeks ago when I was building Ralph, this is like a rerun. In fact, I actually glued it to this head accidentally, but it wasn't set up for the mechanism, so I had to unglue it. So this is me trying to fix my mistakes. Oh, who's here now? Hey, TC. I wasn't sure if I was recording, so I may or posting. So this is the second half of another live stream. This is why I need a crew. Solve these problems so I can just work. What a great video I'm doing. As soon as I finish this, I'll change the camera so I'll show you Ralph in action. Three darts down, one to go. So I finished Ralph last night. I don't know if you saw the other post. Let's see if I can get him off the stand. Again, it's like a chamber of horrors in here. There we go. There we go. All right. Come on. So yeah. So here I am. Da, 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 da. If you, his mouth's still a little stiff, but yeah, I think he works pretty well. Yeah. Talking to you, not me. You, not me. You, not me. Kind of pick his nose. What else can you do? This is the one Eric always used to do. And then, so he licks his hand and then he wipes his hair. And then the other one I used to do all the time was, somebody would call us, say that I can see your lips move, and you go, what do you mean you can see my lips move? It's the other one always. And I don't think I can do it with this because it doesn't have elbows, but he can cross his arms. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I'm pretty happy with that. I must have just become a better puppeteer. Yeah, but anyway. I like the Spock, being able to do the Spock. Alrighty. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with him. He's got some nice movement to him. I like the way that he's got a lot of hair though. Oh my gosh. I can't believe how much hair is on this thing. And I've got to figure out how to tame a couple of these. He's got one cowlick that just will not go down. I might just have to tack it down. But I think it was a good call not to put elbows on him. Anyway. All right, got to get back to his brother. His clone. Okay. How are your frogs? Can I get a knot in this thing right away? I mean, the nice thing is when you get a knot on the first stitch, you're not really messing too much up. But there we go. I think I'm going to get the head on, and then I'm just going to finish both the arms, because the process of putting that hair on is going to be a multi-day. I just already know. I mean, I think it took 3 full days of of working to get the hair on Ralph done. I don't know if I'm prepared for that sort of commitment yet. Slowly hopping together, slowly hoping together, working on legs and flippers. I'm not sure if you mean hopping or hoping. Either way works. Well, that's good. I'm glad you're working on it. I'll tell you, I was shocked at how much relief I had finishing this puppet. I mean, this thing has been hanging over my head for a good 11 years, which, not this one, but the Ralph puppet. I was in the midst of rebuilding him when he got stolen, and I just wasn't happy with the way that the rebuild was going, and ended up just abandoning it. And I guess I just kind of got in a funk or a block as far as that puppet was concerned, because the first one was such a mess to get together, just because of that eye mechanism. And so the fact that I ever got to it, I never expected to get it done, to be honest. I thought I'd move well beyond that, but it's kind of reignited an interest in the characters and maybe even the comic to some extent. That's a good way to lose a finger. He says he's cutting foam and texting. No worries. I'm glad people put this on when they're working. I mean, that's one of the things I really miss about having a shop with BJ is that, you know, we were both working on projects and we could talk and hang out while we worked, and this gives that a little bit some of the same feeling. Like I'm not like just doing it in a vacuum. It'd be nice if maybe we could figure out a way to do like a hangout where we all had monitors going and we just worked. But I don't know. Maybe that's for Patreon. Okay, that's all the darts. So one of the things I always do on Ralphie when I draw him, and on the standee and the puppet that I made, he has one eye that's a little funky. Like he has what I used to call a tick on one of his eyes. I'll show you in a second. So he's got this tick, this little line, and I usually put that I usually I put that on the puppet, and I was thinking that because I have a couple different size irises, I might make that eye that pupil just a little smaller. So I got to think about that. What do we got here? Okay, hey Dave, what a dopamine boost to get it done finally. Finishing Ralph must be such a relief. Carrying that for so long could get heavy, and finally releasing that energy can free up stuck creative energy. Yeah, I think it did. I think it really did. I was shocked by that because, you know, it happens. I mean, this is the other puppet that got stolen. The Sam. So it was this puppet. It was these two puppets. Earlier versions of these two puppets. And all of them were sitting there. I don't think Mayberry was there, but I think every other puppet was there. And these are the only two they took. And there were a lot of other puppets that were a lot more valuable than these there. So I really think it comes down to the fact that there's such tight fit on people that's why they were stolen. But either that, or they were just so irresistible. But they're like, hey, look, a Snoopy and a beaker. I don't know. But yeah, I got the Sam puppet built fairly quickly, rebuilt. I had just rebuilt that one. That one was only maybe 2 months old when it got stolen, the other one. And then I was in the process of rebuilding this one when it got stolen. But it wasn't going well. I mean, he was kind of coming out fatter than this one, even though he was using the same pattern. Something happened where it just didn't go together right. But yeah, I ended up going through all the patterns that were left over, the ones I didn't use on this, and there was only like 2 patterns, so I just threw them away. There wasn't anything that was worth keeping from the old version. So the dog is Sam, and the giant hamster is Sammy. And yeah, that's what you get for creating a puppet, a bunch of characters when you're in 3rd grade. You end up with characters that are both named the same thing. Actually, the way it happened was I used to have 2 comic strips. I had Ralph and Sammy and Sam and Mayberry. And they were 2 completely different continuities. And then at some point, they got joined into the same continuity. And it never dawned on me that they had the same name. So, yeah. Then Ralphie was kind of a joke on the whole Sammy thing. And that one was on purpose. Makes sense to me. In my 11-year-old self or 10-year-old self. I do think I'm going to rebuild Sammy coming up too. I want to. Let me show you what I got. Just a second. You remember I saved that. I had some fur that I said I was going to that would have been perfect for the capybara, but it I didn't want to use it up because I wanted to save it for Sammy. Well, I could have used it for the capybara because I went to that Kyoto Brothers fur giveaway the other day, and I got some fur that I think is going to be perfect for Sammy. I'm going to grab it and show it to you in a second. And I'll get the Sammy puppet too, the old Sammy puppet. Okay, so 2005 is falling apart. So there he is. And then what I got at the Kyoto Brothers is this fur, which is actually, I think, closer to what, of course, I'm colorblind, so who knows. I got this fur that I want to shave down, except for in these areas where he has like the tufts of hair. And then I have another one that was but I do like this fur a lot. Is there stretch? No stretch, but I think that's going to become Sammy. Where's the Sammy? So this is faded, but this is the Sammy cartoon character. I think that's closer. Who knows, though? I'm colorblind. Anyway, that was my great haul from there. And I guess if I don't, I can always make a Fozzie. That's okay. It's part of the strip too. I very rarely made that joke. I rarely went for what I call the low-hanging fruit of doing jokes about them mistaking each other's names, even though they had the exact same name. But I mean, it was always Sammy the Hammy, so I've had many discussions about. It's usually dark browns and dark reds, and some greens I have problems with. Basically, if it's a melon pool color, it's pretty well vetted because those were picked by somebody else, and I just use the key colors that the call outs to do them. But I do really like the texture of that stuff, and I have about 3 yards of it, which would be great. I've always wanted to make him out of that longer fur anyway, because I like the idea of him having the longer fur, like tufts on his cheeks and stuff. Oh, I'm not showing hardly anything. See, I end up taking my glasses off, so I end up having so I can see up close, and then I can't see that well up close, so I may come in and my head gets in the way. It's exhausting. It was funny because I picked up one brown fur for that purpose, and I got it out into the living room, into the light at their shop, and it was like a pink, or it wasn't pink, but it was brown with kind of a really pink hue to it, and even I could see that. And so I very discreetly put it back, and then opened up another thing, and there was that fur, and I'm like, yeah, that's good. That's really close. So, and then I had ordered online some extra, like the longest red fur that I could find online, and I think it was like $20 with like $10 shipping, and it came like the day before. And when I went over the Kyoto Brothers, they had like half a yard of the exact stuff that I had originally. So I picked that up too. So I bought red fur for no reason. Guess I got to make another Ralph. And I had held on to that red fur for since probably 2005. The nice thing about this is this part here, that's the only spot that you might see of this seam. The rest of it's covered by his eyes or his hair. So that's another thing you kind of plan for. And I think I did that when I was making the pattern. I think I really tried to get those darts behind other items so I didn't have to be that meticulous about hiding these seams. Which means I probably could have machine sewn most of this, but oh well. It's made with love. Oh, and there it goes. Okay. I'm not sure what Ralph's voice is supposed to sound like, but the voice you give him matches him really well, in my opinion. Did you get your machine sewing well again? Yeah, it's fine. I just had to rethread it. I think what happened was I think that green fabric, which is a really kind of weird consistency, I think it got caught in the little tread thing, the little metal plate at the bottom. And it just gummed it up. That's all it was. And so then I had to basically just rethread the whole thing and it was fine. I got to put blue thread in there and then I can do the arms. And then I'm done with the machine sewing on this puppet, both these puppets, which is great. I really do think that Ralphie might be done by the end of the week too. Maybe I'll do a slam piece. If I can find somebody to do Ralph or Ralphie, maybe I'll do a slam piece of the two. I think they could exist on their own as a slam piece with, maybe not doing the stuff with Melonpool, but the idea of a mad scientist and his good clone, I think, is a good. Maybe they can do the Odd Couple or something. But I think that these puppets will be kind of a fun thing to maybe use for a slam piece. Just so I'm doing something. I really got to do more performance. I should get Kevin to come on here with me with Muley and do like on Fridays, like some sort of Friday monitor or something that, some sort of improv thing. Or really anybody. Any of you guys can probably do it. I think we all need the practice. We should start doing that thing. We did it a little bit at I think, was it Christmas? Yeah, we did the monster. No, it was Halloween. We did the Monster Mash. Um, we should start doing that too, where we all take a song and do it all this in 1 month. Did you get your machine? Oh yeah, I did get my machine. Sorry. See, I also worked on a commission today too, so I've been actually sewing. Or I haven't been sewing, but I've been prototyping today as well. So I'm pretty puppeted out. I do want to get this done though. I don't want to say one thing. These registration marks are staying pretty close to being on the mark. You don't get to use what character much? Sorry, I missed that. Oh, the one that we did the Monster Mash with. Oh yeah, that's I. So you were asking about the voice. The voice is my friend Eric, which I'm not sure he wants to do it anymore, but he uh, he basically just says all that he does is yell. When I originally did the Melonpool movie, I wanted to play Ralph. I was going to do my Christopher Lloyd impersonation, as bad as it is, and I was going to do that voice. And Eric was like, and I want Eric to do Mayberry. And Eric's like, you are Mayberry. You have to do Mayberry. I'll do Ralph. And so I agreed to it. And then Eric he basically just angry the whole time. Just did the whole thing angry. And it's so funny. And it really informed the way that I wrote the character from that point on. But yeah. So if you go on the Melonpool the Melonpool YouTube channel, you can find some old Melonpool quick casts where you can hear Eric doing Ralph. Me doing Mayberry, Hey guys, how's it going? That's Mayberry's voice. And then the way I would have done Christopher Lloyd. The one that most people do is just, Great Scott. But what I used to do is, I come all this way for the power of Genesis, and what do I find? A Vulcan human, a weakling human, a Vulcan boy, and a woman. So that's what Ralph would have sounded like if I had done it. probably don't want to go down too far because I'm not. I can probably get this on him. What are you looking at? You mean, what are you looking at? That one? What are you looking at? What are you looking at? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I did it. I just kind of think about how Eric says it. And then I just kind of do that. Okay, let me tie this off. Let me see. It's like 4 little places I gotta get my fingers all into. What are you looking at? That? Is that what I did? Yeah. Let me think of the line that he always used to say in that. If it's not one thing, it's the other. If it's not the incompetent captain, it's the It's not the incompetent captain, it's the temperamental engine. The temperamental engine. I'm totally losing it, but what was the thing I did in the thing? Yeah. See, the one I always do. How did he get? Oh, that's. So this is Mayberry. This is the one I always do. This is the one I do. So hey, how's it going? Yeah, I'm just kind of hanging out. I need to get some work done. See, my antennae are a little wonky, and these sleeves are nothing to write home about. But yeah. Oh, it seems like my my mouth grip's a little screwy. So yeah, he needs a little bit of a revamp. And then Eric's brother does Sam, the dog, and he does kind of a bad impersonation of Richard Dreyfuss when he does it. So that's he kind of does a kind of a stuffed up nasal thing with it. Yeah. That could be like, who was that? Was it John Biner in The Ant and the Aardvark, where he did everybody's voice? I'll just do that. And then Eddie's my bad Frasier impersonation, is what that is. I call my my Mayberry voice the like Scooter Sans Serif. My uncle who owns this theater sure isn't gonna like this. Oh no, it's okay. I mean, it's easier for me to do it on a whim than it is for me to do it like if I need to do it. I do I get a bit of stage fright, so I'm like when I'm relaxed and just kind of goofing around, I do fine. But as soon as I try and do it professionally, it all falls apart. And then a lot of times I'll do like when I was doing the Mr. Rogers characters for that Dial Me Out for Murder. Um, I was actually doing for X Huell Hauser. I don't know if you know who Huell Hauser is, but he's the guy on PBS who was just he got amazed about everything. You know, he had this kind of a really voice, you know, a truck. You put tortillas on a truck, and so when I was doing X, I would do like, you know, as Benjamin Franklin always said, "I'm shocked." So it was me doing an impersonation of an impersonation. Thank you. Thank you for saying Mayberry's voice. I actually have been doing Mayberry so long, and it was the only character I did for a long time. In fact, I didn't think I had any other characters I could do. It's only since really doing Eddie that I started doing other Eddie and the Mister Rogers guys. That was kind of the beginning of all that. That's why when I did the Miss Piggy, like I was like, really, that was good. I just was goofing around. What was it that we both thought was so funny? You know, if you could just suck it. If you don't like it, you can just suck it. It still makes me laugh. Oh yeah, I can do Gomer Pyle. Yeah. Surprise! 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 Um, you know, they're that's basically what I do. Yeah. My dad does it really well. Well, Shazam! Yeah, I've tried to sneak that in as character voices, and nobody likes it. I did this alligator for a while that I was trying to do that voice for the alligator. And what else? I used to do Mr. Howell. Marion is Marion anymore. She's Ginger. Ginger isn't Ginger anymore. She's Marion. That was one I used to do. Gilbert Gottfried. Another one I used to always do. This is a movie that dares to ask another take why. And then I could do Columbo because of that one. Just one more thing, sir. As a man of few talents, I got to keep an eye on you. Stuff like that. That might be my entire repertoire right there. Thing I have noticed about my time working with other puppeteers, or real puppeteers, you know, professional puppeteers, is they all kind of have a Henson monster voice. Like the first voice, whenever they put on a monster, is that same, you know, oh, I'll just do this and, you know, it'll find itself. And I don't really do that one. I don't do a Henson monster voice. But I have noticed that just about every puppeteer I've met does a Henson monster voice. See, when I would do impersonations, there would be certain catchphrases that would get me into the voice, but I would think that I would always say that until I could just kind of riff as that voice, I didn't really know it. Like, I the scooter that I do, usually I have to say, either like disguising their car so they won't be recognized, stuff like that, to get me into it. But I don't really riff this scooter very much. I I just kind of do say things from the show. I kind of feel like there's a lot of Muppet impersonators or fans that think they do a spot on Kermit the Frog or whatever, and then they can just say hi ho, Kermit the Frog here. Like Kevin Williams, he does a great Fozzie. Like I'm surprised at how good his Fozzie is. Like he can say just about anything he wants, which is great. I feel like a lot of people who do Fozzie are, by the third Waka are no longer doing Fozzie's voice. Actually, the one that I always remember of Jim Neighbors was, I think it was on the Muppet Show when he was being interviewed by Kermit, and the bit was, Kermit's like, you talk one way and then you sing another. And he goes, well, that's because I'm a Gemini, and Geminis have two different ways of talking. Like I talk like this, and I sing like this. That used to be always the thing I would say is whenever I do that Gomer Pyle, it would be that bit. I always thought it was so funny. I sure hope after I've sewn all this up that I can actually turn it. Because on Ralph, I left this all open because of the mech. Okay, there we go. And I'm really doing a bang-up job of filming this, too. Okay. See how nice that seam is, though? You did a pretty good job. For a seam nobody's ever going to see. Mrs. Douglas. No, I don't do that, but I can do Mr. Haney a little bit. Let me think. Oh, hello there, Mr. Douglas. Wait, I'm not in it. Well, yeah, I have to think about that one. I get allergic smelling hay. What you have there is a genuine Hoyt X-Tail. Yeah, that's about as close as I get. I haven't done it in a long time, but I used to be able to do that one a little bit. I do a pretty good Mr. Sulu. San Francisco. I was born there. All right, so there he is. I got to glue him down, but I'm not going to do that on camera because I'm too embarrassed from all my impersonations. Okay. Not really. I love Mr. Haney. I do that one all the time. Yeah. It's been a while since I listened to it. I could probably pick it up again. See, when I was a kid, and probably when you were a kid too, you know, they always would go on and on about how great an impersonator or impressionist Rich Little was. But I never thought Rich Little was all that good. He just was really good at picking up the cadence of the people he was imitating. So he would just kind of use his own voice, but you know, it would sound like him because you know he'd pick up their mannerisms and stuff. And I always think about that when I'm trying to do an impersonation. What do you mean, leaving it open at the bottom? That's something that I just recently started doing. I got that one from Wally Wingert. That was the way he did it, and it seems to have really alleviated a lot of problems. So what you do is you glue it all the way around, and then you glue it so this matches up. And then if you have to cut away a little bit, you can do that pretty easily. And then you can sew it. You know, you can do the ladder stitch up the front here, and then it's done. But yeah, he looks pretty good. So, and I got to figure out still how I'm going to make his little eyebrows. He's got these not eyebrows, but he looks worried all the time. So I want to try and figure out something to do with that. I was thinking about maybe hitting it with a heat gun to make it all oblong, but I don't think I'm going to do that. You know, I didn't really do. I did it okay, Christopher Lloyd. That was about it before my voice changed. It was not good, but if I got in the thing, I could hit the cadence and all that. But yeah, I mean, I suppose I could do it. I'm not gonna risk it. I did that on camera last time and just about went out of my skull. So what I'll do is I'll glue it around like this on the top plate and get it so that it's all lined up on the sides. And then I'll just work my way around the front here and try and keep it all about a little less than like 3/8 of an inch, I guess, all the way around. Adam has a great. Oh, you mean the ones on the springs? Is that what he does? I don't think I'll do that. I was thinking about what I might do is I might get a piece of that welding rod like I used for Ralph's eyelids and just make like a little T that goes like this at the top. It pokes into his skull and then heat shrink over that. I might do that just to kind of make it consistent. Or, I mean, on the original Ralphie, I didn't even have eyelids on there. It's just something, you know, the little worry lines. Because they don't really float. They're just kind of there. You know. Where's his nose? So I'm gonna go get some baking soda tonight, and then tomorrow I'll show you how BJ does his eye stalks, which I just learned recently. So that. But his whole thing is to look worried and not mean, you know. So. And then to make sure that he looks the same but different as well. We'll see how that all comes together. I think his hair is going to be a little bit more manicured than Ralph's, and then he'll have the different eyes, and I think that'll sell it. I just keep telling myself that. All right. Well, I'm going to get going, I think. Thanks for tuning in, if not once, then twice. But I just am fed up with sewing right now. And I'll probably glue the mouth on tonight and maybe finish up the head. But I'll be probably sewing hands tomorrow and attaching the eyes. Maybe get the whole thing all put together, except for the hair. And yeah, so